Hello, friends. This is going to be episode 6 of the hearse build, and in episode 5 we did the back door. We did the inside card on the door, and off camera, I put some more glue up inside there. The just a super glue. I use this, and then I use that the plastic powder. Just to give it some strength, and it's pretty strong. It's not going to come apart. Um, so, and then off camera, I cut this down just a little bit because this originally, when it was done, it was the same size as the outside edge, so I needed to cut it down a little bit, and I'm going to add material in there. I just got some simple styrene sheet, and this is pretty thin. It's maybe one millimeter thick or whatever. And I used my etching tool with the number 4 blade, I believe this is. Let me just double check. Yeah, I think it's like a 0.4 or something. Hold on, I'll take it out and see because I forget. But it was the widest one in its set, and oh, it's a 0.20 millimeter. There you go, 0.20 millimeter. And what I did with that was I just went from, turn around so you can see that there. So I went from like here down and just kind of worked that to thin this edge out right here. And that will allow more clearance for when the door swings open and shut. In the other video I showed it where it was like kind of binding in there and stuff, and was explaining how I had to trim that up a little bit. And then also we sanded up, clean this up, just some sandpaper, the Stedi 400 grit we used on there, just to clean it up a little. And then on that same edge that where it hinges out, I just kind of rounded that a little bit and make it smoother. So in this one, we're gonna finish up this door. We're gonna wrap that styrene around here. I got some measurements. Those will be different depending on what you're working on. Let me clean some of this stuff up here. I'm making a mess. Those will be different depending on what you're working on and the depth you need. My camera's moving on me like a auto zoom or something. For me, it was about a half inch piece, so I marked this about a half inch, and I put a P for the passenger side and the driver's side. And I'm going to cut the inside and then fold these edges up. And I got to trim some of that out too, because both of these pieces are angled, or swooped, or you see what I'm saying. So I'm gonna cut that. I'm gonna just cut this real quick. You can cut this with scissors or whatever, but I'm gonna cut it on my X-Acto cutting board, just so it's nice straight line. And then we'll get it mocked up on there. I'll draw a line to cut it back, and I'll show you that in a second. Let me just cut this on the X-Acto board, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. We got our piece cut, and basically it's just gonna kind of put it in there like that. And I'm gonna just draw a little line, and I'm gonna follow that curve, and then cut the edges off. I could probably just do that with scissors, or you could use an X-Acto blade, but I don't think it's really necessary to cut that on the cutting board anymore. I'll just use a pencil. Get my edges lined up here. Just kind of draw a line. On there to show me where I need to be. Kind of like that. It's hard to see, but all right. And then I'll cut those up real quick. And I got these, I think, at Ollie's, cheap kitchen scissors. So they're pretty sharp. Do a pretty good job of working with this little plastic. I'm just trying to match the curvature on the bottom there. Just kind of getting it close enough. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good, and I still got some overlapping on this side, and I can cut that off later. So we'll do that, and then we'll just fold this over. Just to kind of get the rounded edge working into it, so it's easier when I go to glue it. And then I'll use my plastic weld for this. It's a Plastruct product, and I don't know where I put mine, so I'm gonna have to pause you and look for that. It's been a while since I used it. All right, we're back. So I got that kind of bent up, and this end I broke, but that's fine. And that's on the. Luckily, it was on the back side too, so you're not really going to see that too much when the door is open or closed. So I got that set in there, and then I'm gonna use the Pro Weld to just weld that plastic together. So I get that set. I got to open these bottles before I do the video. get everything ready, and then the cap's too tight. I'm just gonna run a bead down through there. I don't know if you guys ever use this stuff, but it works pretty good. It basically welds the plastic right together. So we got that spot. Get this one set. And we'll set the other side there. I forgot to mark where my holes were supposed to be for this side too. All right, so you can see that. Made those little red marks out there so I know where to drill my holes back in there at, so we can access those that brass rod we put in there. That side opened up on me, but I'll just use a little bit of super glue in this plastic powder and fill that little little crack in later. It'll be fine. Let me get this last piece set. Now I glued all of this side to there, and I can go and cut these edges off after it cures. And that one didn't set in the right spot. I had to move it back. We got that set, and then we'll go around, because I didn't glue this side yet, so we'll go around and glue that whole side. So that's that for now. I'll just let that cure up real good, and like I said, then I can go cut that access off and sand it up and get it all smoothed out again. So I'm gonna pause you for a minute and get reorganized here, and we'll bring you back. All right, so I allowed that a couple minutes to cure, and it's pretty good now. You know, I can work with it and move it around and stuff. And I'm just gonna, like, some of these edges down here, you can use anything really for a filler. I could have cut that up and made it, not focusing for you. There you go. I could have cut that out and got it to fit better, but I was just trying to do this quick. But I'm gonna just put some super glue in there and use that filler powder. Got a little bit of excess there, and that's fine. I'm just gonna move that around with my one of my coffee stir sticks, and then I'll get the powder. You see how shiny that is right now with the glue on there. And honestly, that glue would probably just fill that space in that we had there. It wasn't very much. I could have sanded that down a little bit and fixed it, but I put a tiny bit of that powder in there, and that's sealed up. I'll go do the same thing on the other side now. And this side really doesn't even have that much of a gap to it. It's just that tiny little bit, like like right in here. Wrong one. Almost put the powder on first. Do you guys do that? Probably just me, right? I think I forgot this little spot right here. And I wanted to build that up a little. And I can't remember if I told you guys, but I cut this down. I know I told you that, but I don't think I said how much. I took off about maybe 1/8 of an inch. 1/16. All right, so that's that for that. I do got that little, got this spot where it cracked right there. I could fill that in now. We'll just go ahead and do that. Just to get that done with. There we go. It's all filled in with powder, and I'm gonna sand that back and round it back out too. So we'll do that later. We're just gonna set that aside and let it cure off. And I think what we're gonna do now is start cutting up that interior. And for that, I'm just gonna use my trusty Dremel, and I run my Dremel. It's on right now, and I run it on a foot pedal, so I have like really good control over that. That's barely moving. So yeah, foot pedal for the Dremel is awesome. So we're just gonna cut some of this up. I'm gonna cut that seat out right there. That's definitely gonna go. So that seat's gonna go out of there. This top piece right here, we got to get rid of. And then most of all this computer stuff over here, this is all got to go. And this seat's got to go. And we're going to cut this back rest thing out to the seat. And we're going to save the seat. And then I'm going to rebuild the back side of the seat with the Plastruct or evergreen plastic sheeting. So I'm gonna get to cutting this up, and then we'll bring you back when we're done. Gotta make sure I'm holding it in a place where my fingers are safe, you know. All right, well, that's everything I wanted to get removed. And now I just gotta go in. I gotta sand all this down, you know, and get that flush, and then we can start rebuilding this, you know. So we are well on our way. I had to switch the bits on the Dremel and get a sanding drum on there. and then we'll get after some of that. All right, so we got all the rough work done. Got the everything we didn't want in there removed, and basically now I just got to go in with the styrene and just start rebuilding this. So these edges here, they're pretty much going to come down all the way to here. This would be where the doors are for both sides, and I'm going to bring that edge down. And we'll put a sheet down for the floor, and rebuild the back sides of the seats. Get everything all sanded up and cleaned up, and then we'll do that on the next episode. So for now, I'm just gonna keep plugging at this and get it all cleaned up and ready, and maybe I'll get some pieces cut so I have them ready to go when we come back. And that's about all I got. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed that or got something out of it. And till the next time, thank you.